Welcome to the latest edition of CityView. I'm your host, Renee Tejas. In this episode, we'll answer the question, what if much of Austin read the same book? We'll take you to the wrap-up of the 2010 Mayor's Book Club, and we'll hear about a garden that can help cut down on the amount of pollution reaching creeks and streams as we celebrate the completion of the City of Austin's first rain garden. But first, about 4 months ago, many of us witnessed the devastation caused by the earthquake in Haiti. An estimated 250,000 people lost their lives, and the disaster left up to 3 million Haitians homeless. As part of their rebuilding process, their national soccer team recently visited Austin to play a friendly game against our Austin Aztecs. We learned what the goal of this game was when we caught up with them before the match.
Just over 3 months after a tragic earthquake devastated the country of Haiti, the City of Austin's Palmer Event Center served as a place for the Haiti national team to rest before their friendly game against the Austin Aztecs.
Of course, we're here at the Palmer Center. What a perfect place. Driving in, they saw the river. They've been taking pictures of downtown, but we needed a place. These guys are serious. They are not looking to just do the tourist thing. They needed a place, and it was Paul, Runtek, and the Palmer Center, and all of Austin that said, come, relax, settle down, breathe deeply, and get ready for tonight's game.
Sí, nosotros estamos invitados aquí a jugar un partido amistoso con un equipo aquí de la segunda división, el Aztecs. Aceptamos gustosamente porque es parte de nuestra preparación para ir a jugar el 5 de mayo contra Argentina en Argentina.
This is just one of a series of games played in Central Texas that have served to raise funds and awareness on the crisis in Haiti, as well as to raise the morale of the players on the team.
We need some pleasure, we need something for injuries, but you know, after the tragedy in Haiti, the guys, they lost everything in the country. They lost maybe your family, maybe your house.
Y aquí lo importante es una cosa, los jugadores están dando cuenta que ellos son importantes, se están dando cuenta que ahora son embajadores de su país, de Haití, y le están demostrando a través del fútbol al mundo que Haití sigue vivo, pero que Haití necesita mucha ayuda.
This is not the first time the City of Austin reached out to the Haitians. In January, City of Austin employees raised more than $17,000 for relief agencies working in Haiti.
Hay 1 millón de personas que no tienen nada, no tienen vivienda, no tienen comida, y ese es el problema que hay ahora. Es un problema grave lo que viene, y ahora es cuando todos los países tienen que ir a colaborar, y eso estamos haciendo con este grupo. Y yo creo que está dando resultados. Todos se están dando cuenta que Haití necesita hoy más ayuda que cuando pasó el terremoto.
Score one for goodwill there. And from action on the soccer field to the actions your Austin City Council took, here's an update from Larry Schooler.
Here comes the sun and more energy for Austin. Stimulus funding will help promote the use of solar energy and install systems at local schools. The funding comes from U.S. Department of Energy grants that the council approved. And it's not just carbon emissions Council is hoping to curb. Council decided to spend more money on marketing and outreach for water conservation. The contract approved by Council builds on work that's been ongoing for the past few months. Council also wants to keep Austin moving, and an agreement with Lone Star Rail District allows the city to share resources with the district, which is exploring how to connect the Austin and San Antonio areas with passenger trains. If it's bikes you prefer, Council is moving ahead with a BMX and skate park project. They awarded a roughly $1 million contract for the 30,000 square foot park at the former Austin Recreation Center site near 12th Street and Lamar Boulevard. Finally, council members voted to send Arizona a message. They asked the city manager to take steps to cease employee business-related travel to the state and investigate business and investments the city may have with the state of Arizona. The council action comes in response to recently passed Arizona immigration legislation. In all, the council considered 62 items at its May 13th meeting. Its next regularly scheduled meeting is May 27th. For CityView, I'm Larry Schooler.
The Blund Creek Restoration Project at Big Stacy Park was recently completed, and the newest feature is the establishment of a rain garden. Now, that's a type of landscape which uses rainwater runoff from areas like roofs, driveways, and walkways.
Stacy Park and Blund Creek, which is behind us, has been a long-time concern of many of the residents here, and so we're just delighted to be here today to see this opening and celebration of the new rain garden that's been installed at the corner of East Side and Annie.
A rain garden is a low-profile, unique landscape feature that captures polluted stormwater runoff that comes from impervious cover like the roadway behind me. They're not only beautiful, they're functional. what the beautiful landscaping disguises is some pretty serious engineering that goes into this to calculate how much water we should get in here, how dirty is the water, how much cleaning will be done, and then how do you construct this for flows larger than you would anticipate so that it doesn't get washed away.
We can actually capture rainfall as it lands for a whole 6-acre area to this, down in this direction, and as it's headed to the stream, but before it enters the stream, we actually allow it to filter through these gardens where it not only waters the flowers and plants that you see in the gardens, but that process also removes the pollutants that you have in that are in the rainwater as a result of flowing over the streets and yards in the neighborhood.
This rain garden and some of the bank hardening that they're doing are innovative things that the city is doing that are creative, that are proactive, that's doing on their own initiative. And I think that anybody who's a resident here in Austin should feel proud that the city is trying to be a leader. And all these projects are wonderfully suited to educate kids about sustainable ways to protect the city that we love. And you know, there's nothing better than investing in those kids and trying to show them a good way to do things.
That was awesome! Yeah!
And you can say that the rain garden makes the Big Stacy Park one step closer to being even more green, much like the City of Austin's new campaign called One Green Step. The program calls on folks to reduce their environmental impact one step at a time. Recently, the City of Austin held an event in which several city departments as well as nonprofit organizations all came out to raise awareness and ask people to commit to their path to being green, one step at a time.
I love this event. I think it's a great idea for people to come out and see what they can do individually to take one step for their environment.
It's great to have leadership from the city. You know, culturally, we abdicate a lot of responsibility for things to government. So it's great to have a mixture of programs where the city's educating people how to do some of those things on their own.
I think going out into the neighborhoods and talking to specific groups helps us as a city connect with our citizens so that we can answer specific questions that they have about conservation efforts or programs that the city is offering to help their citizens.
It's a partnership where the city's trying to say, hey, look, there's a lot of things we can do. These are the things that we can help with. But we also want citizens to be taking responsibility and innovating and working in neighborhoods to try to make an impact.
The more exposure we can have to the need for taking steps on an individual basis, the better, because that's where it all starts, is individually. You can't count on somebody else to do it for you. We really all need to pitch in.
My green step is...
Our green step is...
My one green step.
My one green step.
My one green step.
My green step.
My one green step
is to turn the water off when I'm brushing my teeth.
To recycle more aluminum cans and plastic bottles.
Taking shorter showers. Is to use reusable shopping bags every time I go shopping.
Make my own clothes.
I switched my font on my computer to reduce ink consumption by 30%, and I defaulted all the printers in our office to print double-sided every time.
For more information on the One Green Step campaign, visit austinrecycles.com. And now the city is one step closer to a new, larger, and easier to clean animal service center after a groundbreaking ceremony at the Betty Dunkerley campus, just west of US 183 at Levander Loop. The center is expected to be completed by next year.
There's a lot of great things going on here today. One is we're breaking ground on our new Animal Services Center, which will replace a 50-year-old facility that's somewhat obsolete and provide for many, many more good amenities to support our animals and people in our community. We're also celebrating this whole property in terms of a conceptual plan that will ultimately include affordable housing, parks and recreation types of amenities, and some other community-based services and a community center here on the property long term. And then finally, and also very importantly, we're honoring Betty Dunkerley, a city leader who's been a real champion for health and human services and for whom the City of Austin has named this property.
Well, I'm excited. I saw some former council members I worked with, and certainly some of my former department directors and a lot of friends, and I'm just so excited. A lot of our volunteers, a lot of representatives from the animal shelter partnership groups, and so I'm really, really thrilled and overwhelmed.
This is little Ruby, who just got adopted today. She's very excited. She came to the event, and now her new name is Dunk, after Betty Dunkerley. and she's going to be picked up on Sunday at Town Lake Animal Center. And she was once homeless and now came to this great event, and it's a big day for her.
I think the turnout is excellent. I think it shows the excitement, the interest in this project. There's been a lot of hard work to get us to this point. Of course, there's still a lot of work to do, but this really is a very significant moment for us in Health and Human Services and for the community in terms of what this represents and what it's going to provide in the future for all of our community as well as our neighbors in close proximity.
Our growing population, booming economic development, and hot, dry climate means water is in greater demand than ever. The Austin Water Utility recently held a news conference to inform people on ways they can conserve water and keep their water bills down, while outlining the days in which you can water your lawn.
Today we're kicking off the start of conservation season, at least for irrigation, and we're just announcing just a whole host of ways that people can conserve water every day.
Everyone's proud of their lawns. I think it's important to adhere to those voluntary watering schedules. I know from the City of Cedar Park's perspective, about 40% of our water is for landscaping.
Conservation's an everyday value, that it's not something that we can just do during the drought. We never know when the next drought is, so we have to build conservation in to our everyday lives, and that we want people thinking about how to conserve water every day.
The conservation methods would be outside watering. Make sure you fix all your leaks. No one likes a drip. You can lose up to 3,000 gallons of water just by a single drip per second over a year's period of time.
Changing out an older toilet with a new toilet. We have rebate programs that allow you to do that in a cost-effective way.
You know, turn off your water when you're shaving or brushing your teeth.
You can monitor your irrigation system, check it for leaky sprinkler heads, make sure you're watering at the right time of the day. We only want you to water before, after 7 or before 10 a.m. Don't water in the middle of the day. Water on the right day of the week. We have a schedule where we encourage you to water at certain times based on your address, and all that's available on our websites and through other means.
And as we gear up to really watch our summer's water use, this year's edition of the Mayor's Book Club is winding down. The wrap-up was celebrated in City Hall at an event featuring the mayor as well as Oscar Casares, the author of this year's book selection, Amigoland. The author answered questions from the public. That's all for this edition of CityView. A special shout out to Martha Morales, our intern who's graduating. I'm your host, Renee Tejas. Our next episode premieres Friday, May 28th. Thanks for watching.